Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. Today we're going to talk about chickens. And before we get started, you know, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And at the end of the video, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. But you know, chicken and eggs are the hot topic right now. I can't hardly get on Facebook without somebody looking for some chickens, so I'm going to kind of give my thoughts about that and about eggs. I just got through feeding this bunch. So they're eating now, and I think I've got about 13 in here, and I got over another MOB over here. I've got 18. So right now I got 32 hens on the farm. I just got rid of my big flock. I had about 30 in there that I got rid of. I still got one down there, so I got 33. And I will move her up here. That's Buffy. Anyway, let's talk about eggs. And I hadn't even checked here yet, so let's see what we got today. And this flock here, of course, this is my I think I got these in late summer, so they started laying before the winter came, and they've laid pretty well throughout the winter. That one back there is kind of spotty, so, and they're a little bit older. Like I got them in the spring, so they've already went through a molt. I don't think these went through a molt this year, and but these have laid pretty good, you know, except for they lay better when it's cloudy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see how many eggs we got. I got 5 today out of this one, and you can see my nest boxes there. I got 5 out of this one today, and I got 2 out of that one today, so I got 7 eggs today. So, and I try to keep my nest boxes fairly clean. That way you don't have to worry about cleaning eggs. If you don't, they'll poop in them and everything else, and of course they'll poop in them and everything. And then, so I try to clean that out and put fresh bedding in at least once a week. It don't really cost that much, unless you're using those pads like I used in the other bunch. I started them out and using a pad, so wish I hadn't done that because they're expensive. I started these out with the pine shavings, so that's what they like. That's what they're used to. So a lot of people's getting in and wanting chickens and trying to get into eggs, and I see a lot of people wondering if it's cost effective. And I'd have to say, from my experience, we've raised chickens here for probably 25 years, and of course now I'm on a different little system. If you was at a small yard, you couldn't run this system, and that's another thing I want to talk about when you get started. If you want to get started and it's cost effective, let's talk about that first. Is it cost effective? I've read that a commercial layer takes 3 pounds of food for 1 dozen eggs. So, and what I've got here now, and probably what you would have, is they're called dual purpose or heavy breeds. I got buffs, I got barred rocks, I got Rhode Island Reds, I got Isa Browns. Isa Browns is considered commercial. And I got more barred rocks, more Rhode Island Reds. I got some red sex links, which is just kind of a commercial breed. And I got some lavender orphans up there. So I would estimate a heavy breed, and I'm not doing no scientific, and I haven't even looked it up, probably 4.5 pounds per dozen eggs. So that's what you need to do. You need to figure your feed cost. I have about 5 places where I shop my chicken feed, and when I get ready to do a big buy, I'll call around and see which one's cheapest. That's where I go. So then I price it out per pound. So that kind of gives me, you know, that'll give you something to call around and see how much chicken feed is, laying feed. And when you buy a hen, they tell you how much it's going to cost you. So I'd say right now I'm paying about 32 cents a pound. So it costs almost $1 a dozen just in feed to raise that chicken if you had a commercial. So if it's 4 pounds, you're talking $1.20-ish or something like that. And we had to go up now. When the first of 2020, 22, my cost was about 19 cents a pound, yeah. So it's went up that much. It's almost doubled. And we had to go up on our price, and that's why we went up, because of our feed. It's not because prices of eggs and we're trying to gouge anybody. We just went up $1. So anyway, that's what you need to think about. How much per dozen is it going to cost me to get? So if you had 3 hens, that's another thing. Let me back up. So if you're going to start out and you're thinking about it, this is what I would do. I would start out small. When we first raised chickens for our eggs, I had just a regular pen. Matter of fact, I took the kids' old playhouse and turned it into a chicken coop. I mean, that right there will save you a lot of money. If you got something you can repurpose and you can turn it into a coop, that's what I would do, and that's what I did. I just took the playhouse and run some wire around it and around the top for a run. And I started out with 5 chickens, and we couldn't eat all those eggs, so I dropped down to 3. So we had 3 hens, and I don't know how much it cost a month. Like, I think one bag would last 2 months back then, if I remember right, and a bag was like 10 bucks. So yeah, it was really cost effective. If you don't count your housing and your initial investment, so you could probably buy a pretty good hen. I don't know what they'll be going for this year, but last year they were $14 at the Mennonites, which is kind of high, but they have good quality animals. So if you got 3 hens at $14, you know, you're looking at, you know, $43 or something like that. And that hen's going, if you take care of it, it's going to last you laying 4 to 5 years. And so you would easily make your money up right there, especially with eggs, $6 or $7 a dozen. So if you're thinking about that, that's what I would do. Start small. Just don't think, you know, like when we started out with 5, I was talking about them, but when we originally started out, I think we had 20 hens. There ain't no way we could have ate all them eggs. So I ended up giving them away. There wasn't much of a market for them back then. But now, you know, we raise these eggs, these chickens here are kind of got, you know, I've got 34 here, or 33 here, and you know, that's when they start laying heavy, you know, I'll have quite a bit, and we're going to add, I think, 75 more. But you know, we sell these at the farmer's market, and it's kind of a way to get them into our booth so we can sell them vegetables too. So, and plus we have a superior quality. I'm 100% committed to pasture raised products. We raise these on pastures. That means I move these, especially in the summer. I move them every day. Right now I don't move them about every other day or every third day. Depends on the weather. They're not getting a whole lot of value right now. What they're doing right now is fertilizing this field. So that's another thing I get out of them. That's one of the reasons I got more. So I've got fertilizing, I've got weed control, I got, of course, eggs. So, and that's one of the reasons we kind of factor into it. And that's why we don't sell our eggs any more than we do. You know, $3, we're probably not making any money time. You count your labor and everything, but you know, we're not going broke. At $2, we're losing money. Anyway, that's something to think about. And just don't look on YouTube and think, you know, this guy's got 32 chickens, that's how many I need. I need 15, I need 20. You don't. Start out small. That's my main thing. Something else I would address is you don't really need a rooster. I don't have a rooster on this farm. You don't need one to raise eggs. Only thing a rooster is good for is to, if you want to raise hatching eggs, you got to have a, you know, a male and female. If you're just wanting regular old eggs to eat for the table, don't waste your money on a rooster. All they do is eat your food. You know, some people will say, well, they protect. Well, if you got them in a cage, there ain't no rooster going to protect nothing gets in there. If something does dig in there, it's going to kill that rooster just like it's going to kill that hen. And, you know, I've had roosters running when I used to be able to let my flock run loose, and they didn't really protect it. You know, it still got hawks and stuff like that. So all you're doing is feeding something that crows and wakes you up in the morning. It's going to bother your neighbors. So think about that. You don't need a rooster. Just stay with the hens. If all you want's eggs, just stay with the hens. So I'm a big fan of chickens. I always have been, and you know, we always joking and saying, you know, it's kind of like a gateway drug. Once you get a few chickens, you know, well, what are you gonna get next? You need some pigs. You'll start with some pigs like we did, and of course pigs are pretty easy too. If you got a good containment, they'll stay in there and they're easy to take care of and feed. Of course, then we branched down into calves and goats, and now we got sheep, and you know, we raise most of our food here. So it's a gateway drug. So once you get started, you know, you're going to expand, and you know, ain't no telling where you'll stop. My main thing is remember that, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's kind of the theme of my channel now, I think, going forward. Because, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. It's not a big deal. Because, you know, I'm not no smarter than anybody else. You just do it. And if something happens and you fail, it ain't no big deal. Just go on. Start over. Do it again. So, start small is my main thing. Just raise hens if that's all you want is eggs. Calculate your feed costs in your area. And it don't hurt to, you know, call around. I'll tell you something else. If you've got a tractor supply, like we have a tractor supply in my town and my next town up where I go a lot, they have a tractor supply. They are on feed $5 cheaper than the one here in my town. It's because they have more competition. There's a Rural King close by and a co-op, a good co-op next to us. So I buy most of my feed at the co-op. But that's something to remember. They will price match. So if you look at the town next door and their bag up there, their layer feed is $10.99 for 40 pounds. Down here at my store, it's $15.99 for 40 pounds. So that's $5 right there. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, it don't hurt to shop around. So that's my points here. You know, start small, stay with the hens, figure your costs. Try to multi-purpose some kind of cage. I know in the fall there's a lot of people who gets out of chickens and then pretty much give away their little coop. You know, even if you had a little coop like a 2x4 thing, you could pull it around your yard and do some pasture raising. If you had, you know, a good sized yard. I don't know what everybody has. So keep all that in mind. And once you get into it, you know, if you want them to lay there in the winter, you can put a light in their coop and that'll keep them laying. I don't do that because, you know, if I get a few eggs, if I can keep going, keep my customers that come by the house happy and have us a few eggs during the winter, I'm happy. You know, and when we got to start going to the farmers market, we sell everything we take. So that's why I want my big production. But a hen's born with so many eggs to lay. It's only going to lay so many eggs during its lifetime. So if you put that in there, you're going to shorten that production life of that chicken. So I don't do that. I don't really push them out hard. I don't even push them out hard out of moat. You know, you can throw a bunch of they come out of moat, you know, if you throw a bunch of high protein feed in there, that'll get them going again. I kind of let them go natural. I just keep it kind of the same and let them, you know, naturally come back to production. Because, you know, I don't see no use pushing them. I mean, they're just an animal just like everybody else. You need to take care of them. So you take care of them, they'll take care of you. One thing I would recommend if you're wanting to get into it is start with either layers or ones close to laying. Don't start with chicks because they're hard to, you're going to probably lose a few if you do that. They're hard to keep going and gig up. So if you're going to get started and you're not really done it before, I would start with a full-grown chicken. That way they'll start laying quicker and you'll have eggs quicker, and you're gonna pay a little more for it, but you know, it's less likely it's gonna die. So I hope this was informative, and if you have any questions, you can send me an email. You can write me in. I put my address. You can write me a letter. I'll even answer it. I answer all the emails, all the comments we get answered. So something here that you don't feel like I covered, just ask me a question and I'll try to answer it the best I can. Hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit about chickens and eggs. And you know, remember, if you ain't going to raise your own eggs, to buy from a local farmer. You know, support your local farmers. I mean, we're out here working and we're not trying to cheat you, at least most of us ain't. So support your local farmer and your egg prices will go back down at the store. Even though what you get out here on my farm is 10 times better than what you get at the store. And you know, I went to go, well, I guess last week I was going to do a thing on the difference between pasture eggs and store-bought eggs, but you know, I ain't paying $6 for store-bought eggs just for one egg. I have to borrow one from somebody maybe. I'll do a little thing on it. But I'm committed to pasture raised eggs, and we raise our meat chickens on pasture. So, and of course our sheep's on the pasture and everything. No babies yet from the goats. I just checked, just come from there, so nothing yet. If something happens between postings, I'll put a little post up so you can see them. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, just discussing something about chickens and eggs. And our herd prices is going to be up all year, so there's something about that bird flu and killed a bunch of them, so it's probably going to be at least this year before prices come back down. But feed prices come back down, we'll lower our prices, but we got a margin that we have to do. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, support your local farmer. We appreciate you farming with us, and we'll see you in the next video.